First, the student must download the image containing the Debian 12 installer. The entire course will be based on this version of this distribution. The objective is to have an environment that adheres to the practices. In the book I left all the URLs available. Select a newly created virtual machine and start running it. As this is the first run, VirtualBox will ask for a CD image for installation. Select the .enquat ISO file of the Debian 12 that you downloaded. Let's choose the non-graphical option. I want to tell you that our default is always the path that consumes the least resources. As we are going to work with servers in this course, we never use graphics packages, not even during installation. No matter what country you are in, consider that Linux was designed with the parameters of English culture, more specifically the United States of America. Not only the project but also the entire battery of tests, so choose the English option. Now you choose your location, that is, your country. In my case I'm in Brazil, so I choose Other and then South America and then Brazil. Choose the United States and ENIS UTF-8 option. My keyboard is International English, so I will choose the first option. Here you must choose a keyboard compatible with yours. Now the installer will start copying the fundamental components for the installation process, as well as detecting characteristics of your hardware. A process that does not take long. Installation of this distribution and this NETINST installation CD requires connection to the Debian package server. This option is a good option as it always installs the updated packages. The installer will begin by detecting the network card and then attempt to obtain an IP address through DHCP. Every computer has a name, and every computer must have a different name. But for our practices the computer name will be Debian. We will standardize to facilitate practice validations. In these classes we will not work with domain controllers, so don't fill in anything, just move forward. Now you must set a password for the super user. In Linux we have a user with full power. We generally use a complex password. But for this course, we're going to default passwords to 123456. Confirm the password super user. A bad practice is the indiscriminate use of the super user account. In Debian we define a common user account during installation. Let's use the value username as username. Confirm that the username will be user. Create a password for the user. By default for this course use the password 123456. Confirm the user's password, and proceed. Enter the time zone the computer is in. Although Linux is in English, we will work by locating it in the real geographic position. In my case, I am in the province of São Paulo in the country of Brazil. Now the installer will download the partitioning program. It is a quick process as it is just an additional program. In the past, the person installing Linux had to manually partition it. Today it's simpler. The user just chooses some of the most used options. As we are going to format a machine without dual boot, we will choose the first option. This option will format the disk and allocate all space to our Linux. There are other more advanced options, but for our classes, the first option is the most we will need. As in VirtualBox we only have one disk attached. We will only have one option to choose from on this screen. Choose the SDA option and continue. Know that on a real computer, with countless disks, you must choose the correct disk. We have three options. The first creates a partition for all files, usually the default and basic one. This is the option we will choose for this course. The remaining options create separate partitions for system files and user files. I use it when I want to encrypt some specific information. So choose the first option and move on. The partitioner will create the partitioning scheme, based on the previous choices. Basically in this default configuration the partitioner will create an ext4 partition for the files, and a swap to exchange with memory. in addition to offering advanced options such as RAID and encryption. If you proceed further, all content on your disk will be lost. So as a precaution, the installer displays a summary. Once you are sure of the change, choose the Yes option and continue. At this point, the system files will be loaded into the ext4 partition. Depending on the input and output device, be aware that this process may be quick or slow. At this point, in the case of the NETINST image, the installer will ask for a second media containing the rest of the system. After all, the previous installation process only loaded the operating system base. As we will use the internet to install, choose the No option and proceed. As the installation is via the internet, locate your computer to choose the closest repository. And choose Mirror. In my case I will choose the default Mirror.